2 down and 1 to go in the F4 UAE Championship season opener for 2024 here at the Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. This is a very challenging circuit at the best of times, but coming into the third race, the tyres are going to be one of the most important talking points coming into this third race of the season. And watch out for the guys from PHM. With their new Ikes Corporation partnership, they are much stronger and much faster than they were in 2023. So things could be a very exciting battle for them, especially considering that these new rookie challengers are going to want to be at the same sort of pace as the front runners. So let's see what will happen in the third and final race of the weekend. The 2024 F4 UAE Championship will be the 8th time the series is run, and with previous champions having gone on to greatness in world motorsport, it's time to see who will be the next in line. The French squad, Race GP, has a very strong lineup for 2024, consisting of Frenchmen, Raphael Narak and rookie Gilles Caranta, along with Enzo Ye and Luca Samalisto, both with a strong reputation from their karting programs. XL Motorsport are back to reclaim the crown they've won 3 times before, but are fully aware of the challenges ahead, with Italian Alvis Rodella joined by Chinese F4 stars Thiago Rodriguez and Liu Kaixun. Yazid Racing come off the back of their win at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Trophy race, with the winner Chiano Al-Azari still on board, alongside his karting friend and adversary Zach Scular. Expect Al-Azari to be shooting for wins and the title, as he bids to become the first from the UAE to do so. High-Tech are raring to go, and Formula One's loss is F4 UAE's continued gain, with one of the strongest rookie lineups in the championship's history, as Reza Siraruthin joins Deegan Fairclough and Gabriel Stilt, who are joined by the experienced Sebastian Murray. The rebranded PHM squad, now in partnership with the Ikes Group, looks spectacular, and Nikita Bedrin leads the 3 young rookies Everett Stack, Max Popov and Kamal Murad, so there could be a few wins before the season's end. Prema Racing have 2 drivers competing in the squad's official branding, as Rashid Al-Daheri continues his Italian F4 journey with the same squad, now joined by French racer and World Endurance Championship star Dorian Pin. Newcomers AGI Sport have already conquered Australia in F4, now they wish to do the same in the Middle East, and with the experience of Carrie Schreiner and Jack Beaton, coupled with the youthful exuberance of Peter Buzinelos and Nicolas Stati, anything's possible. Santalok Racing won their first F4 crown in Spain last year. Now they want more silverware and have acquired a talented squad. Colombia's Max Restrepo, the Belgian-Brazilian Aurelia Nobels, UAE's Matteo Quintarelli, and Sri Lankan Yivan David. The Mumbai Falcons return to retain their crown from 2023, and with a superstar lineup to boot. British hotshot Freddie Slater and Indian star Dion Gowda will be joined by karting heroes Kia Nakamura-Berta of Japan and Alex Powell, the Miami-based Jamaican. Finally, Pinnacle Motorsport have unfinished business in F4 UAE and have a pair of strong drivers to fight for glory. Kai Darianani, the iRacer who beat Dan Wells, and Chinese sensation Fu Yuhao. It's going to be a very competitive 2024 season. Plenty of great drivers and teams to choose from as far as the title battle in F4 UAE is concerned. There's a lot of big names coming into this one. And after the first 2 races of the season, there's already a lot of talking points. Luca Samalisto getting himself ready at Race GP. There is drama, actually, before we've even started down here at Race GP. We've actually got one of the competitors for the team. The car is not yet ready to get going, and it looks like it's still having some adjustments to it. It's Raphael Narak who is having some difficulties here, the teammate of Luca Samalisto. The car should look like this. It's actually still in bits. I want to see if I can draw your attention to it. We've actually got a little bit of an issue down here in pit lane with Raphael Narak's car. You can very clearly see for yourself that the car is not actually ready to go, and they are literally sending the cars out at this moment in time. So big problems already at Raphael Narak's crew, and this is before they've even sent them out onto the starting grid. They've had a couple of hours between races, so they've clearly got some kind of mechanical or technical defect with Raphael Narak's car. They're racing to try and get this car ready to go. So if Raphael Narak is able to get into the car and go racing, then it's going to be a nail-biting moment for him to make sure that he is ready to go. Of all of the cars that are ready, the other 3 are all fine and dandy. Lucas Samalisto, Enzo Ye and Gilles Caranta are all ready to go, but certainly Rafael Narak was pacing up and down a couple of moments ago, wasn't really sure whether or not he'd actually be able to get himself into the car and go racing. So it's a little bit touch and go at the moment to see whether he's going to be ready to do so. Ironically, Lucas Samalisto's just been given a fist bump by his countryman, Tuukka Tapanen, who of course is part of the Race GP squad in Formula Regional and was racing in F4 UAE last season. So he knows all of the stress and the strain that the drivers are going through. He was with the Mumbai Falcons last year. Now he's stepped up to race with the Race GP squad, but it is a race against time to make sure that Rafael Narak is ready. Look, they're having to refuel the car right at the end of the setup, and there is Rafael Narak getting himself ready to climb aboard, but they have literally left this to the last possible minute. They've had all sorts of difficulties trying to get him going again. So hopefully Rafael Narak is going to be able to take his place on the starting grid. It looks as though, although it's been a bit of a rush, they are going to be able to get him out onto the circuit. The rest of the F4 cars and competitors are out in pit lane, ready to get moving, other than Gilles Caranta that's now being pushed into position for the Race GP team. But it's definitely going to be an interesting challenge out there for all of the contenders. They're definitely having an exciting battle to be ready to go. I want to actually see if I can grab a quick word with the man who was fighting for the F4 UAE Championship title last year, and he's going to be in the Formula Regional race a little later on. Tuukka Tapanen is with me. Tuukka, you were in this position last year on this very circuit, racing in F4 UAE. What have these guys got to look forward to in the next 30 minutes or so?
Yeah, it's last race of the weekend. I think everyone has some experience already, so they're gonna put all in, let's say, and somebody has a different strategy with the tires as well. Someone can have four new tires, someone doesn't have any new tires anymore, so there can be some good fights.
Now, you didn't have a lot of time to get up to speed last year because you came straight into this as a rookie and had to fight for the championship straight away. Now you've got a teammate in Gilles Caranta in the F4 crew who had a similar run in race 2 and is right over the sharp end. You must be really pleased to be working with, again, a talented group of youngsters that I'm sure you're helping out.
Yeah, I mean, we are still, I'm working more in the Formula Regional. They are focusing in Formula 4, so we are, let's say, everyone is focusing what they are doing, so not so much.
But I noticed that you can't quite keep your eyes off it. You're still a lover of racing, and it wasn't that long ago that you were driving these cars.
Yeah, not so long time.
Well, good luck for your Formula Regional race later, Tuukka, and we hope you're on the podium again. Good luck.
Thank you.
There we are. It's going to be a very interesting challenge for our F4 UAE drivers. He knows more than most what the pressure is like up at the sharp end of the dais. But everybody now getting themselves out onto the circuit very, very shortly. You'll hear the acceleration from the cars and you'll see them venture out onto the course here at Abu Dhabi. It's been a really interesting opening weekend to the 2024 campaign in the F4 UAE Championship. The first race, it seemed fairly uneventful, but in terms of the racecraft and the pure maturity of the drivers, they were at absolute peak. So it was wonderful to see that we actually had a pure, thoroughbred motor race with no yellow flags, no crashes, no banzai moves, and certainly no safety cars. Race 2, as a reverse grid, a little bit trickier than that. Obviously, we had the reverse grid for the top 12, Jack Beaton starting from pole position and Nikita Bedrin fighting his way through to get a 4th position to win conversion. Now, we've got a completely different setup coming into this next race of the season, and it's going to be Chiaro Alazadi from Dubai back on pole position once again for the Yas Heat Race Academy, alongside Freddie Slater on the front row of the grid. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. 28 minutes will go back on the board on the main straight once again. And the competitors are gearing up for another excellent showcase. It really will be tough. That is the engine firing up for Rafael Narak of Race GP. So that is a good sign. It means that he should be able to get going again. Any moment now, they're going to get the cue. Here we go. So the cars venturing out onto the circuit. They're getting ready. And we're going to be able to join them on the start-finish straight very shortly indeed. Now, what we should remind everybody who's only perhaps watching their first race of the weekend is that they're not actually using the same start-finish straight that is used in Formula 1 this weekend. They're using the support paddock, which is on the back straight between turns 8 and 9 on the conventional Formula 1 circuit, overlooking the W Hotel. So it's on the other side of the race circuit to the Formula 1 start-finish straight. And that's basically to give us a little bit of a variation in terms of layout. In an FIA championship like this, we've only got 2 venues this year, Yas Marina and Dubai, but you have to have 3 different circuit layouts for it to be eligible for super license points under the FIA. So obviously you have to make sure that you run 3 different circuit layouts. That's why we're using the corkscrew layout here. And we'll also use the Grand Prix layout, so no matter what happens when we go to Dubai, we're guaranteed to have a minimum of 3 different circuit layouts. So it's all done
very much on purpose to ensure that we're going to be in accordance with the super license criteria. So, an interesting conversation that I actually ended up having with the general manager of Top Speed, who obviously promotes this championship, Davide Gobbi. We had an interesting chat with Arvid Lindblad after his Formula Regional race earlier on when he took the victory. He seemed a little bit disgruntled, and I said, well, come on, that's 25 points in the bag. And he said, yeah, but that's a reverse grid race. I didn't want to win a reverse grid race. I wanted to win on pure pace outright in race 1 and race 3. And I said to him, well, yeah, but that's still 25 points for the championship. That's pretty good going. It's a win. A win is a win. He said, well, yes, but we shouldn't have the same points for a reverse grid race as we do for a race 1 or race 3. And that's an interesting viewpoint. However, Davide Gobbi was actually kind enough to explain to me that they've already taken that kind of thing into consideration, and now they know exactly why they've decided to go for that. Because I know a few of you watching at home asked the same question. Why is it the same amount of points for a reverse grid race as it is for race 1 and 3? Well, the duration of the races are exactly the same. They're all 28 minutes plus 1 lap, so it's the same distance covered. So why would you give less points for a race distance which is of the same length as race 1 and 3? Now, I absolutely agree with them on that one. You may have a bit of an issue with, well, they're not in the same starting positions as they were from time qualifying, but at the end of the day, you know what the regulations are when you come here, you know what you sign up for, and you pay the same price. Now, if you want to pay a reduced price to have a shorter distance of race and fewer points, that's another argument. But there are 3 races of exactly the same length. They get exactly the same number of points, and that's the reason for doing so. And I have to say, it's good to get that clarification, and that's why we have the same number of points for race 2 as we do for races 1 and 3, despite it being reverse grid. And it definitely teaches the drivers all about racecraft and technical setup and know-how. There is the safety car on the main start-finish straight. I have to say, our safety car driver has not actually had as much running as he would normally expect to have over the course of a 2024, or certainly Formula 4 and Formula Regional race weekend. They've not actually had to do too much work this particular weekend. They've had a quite quiet time of it yesterday. They had a little bit of work to do earlier today, but certainly very different compared to what we're used to in F4 and Formula Regional weekends. The boys are having quite a calm time of it aboard their beautiful Chevrolet Camaro, and they're obviously keeping us very safe and sound. Great work from all of the marshals and the officials as they gear up for another spectacular showcase here in race 3 of F4 UAE. Kia Nakamura-Berta, the winner of race 1, Nikita Bedrin, the winner of race 2. I've got a feeling that we're going to have a very, very different run to the battle in race number 3. I think it's going to be very different, so we're going to have a very interesting and very unique challenge out there on the course. We're just getting ourselves a bit of a photo bombing session down here on the grid. I do apologise, very unprofessional, but they seem to like having a bit of a selfie with the people on the grid, so we thought we'd photo bomb them. Now, on the main straight here at Yas Marina, we've got a fabulous race about to kick off, and all of the competitors putting themselves into a competitive position on the starting grid. It's going to be a really exciting battle. Goffi is just walking past me. Goffi Pirro, the team manager at Prema, and obviously helping to run the operation of Mumbai Falcons. A very busy garage, that one. They've got a lot of competitors. And it's great to see everybody still putting an awful lot of support and a lot of mammoth effort behind all of the teams within the championship. We have 10 operations in F4 UAE, 10 teams gunning for the title. And of course, they can only nominate 2 cars per team to score points in the team's championship, because there are some teams that have 2 cars, some that have 3, and some that have 4. You can't have all of them scoring points for the team's championship. That would be completely unfair. So there are actually 2 named drivers per weekend that are nominated to score the points. So only those 2 drivers will score championship points. Now, here is Nikita Bedrin, race winner of race 2 earlier this morning in the reverse grid battle. He started P4 on the grid. Meanwhile, here comes Rashid Al Daheri to his position on the grid. 3rd place for the young man from just down the road from here. He's literally grown up in the world of motorsport with this race circuit right around the corner from his home, essentially. Freddie Slater working his way to the starting grid in P2. Alex Powell pulling up in P5. Kia Nakamura-Berta pulling up in P6. This is going to be a very different race compared to the 2 we've had previously. We had a fairly tame one yesterday for the first race of the season. We have had a bit of a topsy-turvy, argy-bargy one in race 2. Race 3, I think, is going to be a no-nonsense thrill. There's going to be a lot of drivers gunning for the top spot. But the man who's still yet to make his way to the pole position is a very good friend of mine and a very talented racing driver. I've been watching him all the way through his karting journey, both here in the United Arab Emirates and on the continent in the FIA categories, both in the European and World Championships. And it's been wonderful to see how he has made his way through, racing for the Yas Heat Academy in the 2024 motorsport season. He lives on the Palm Jumeirah, just down the road from here in the city of Dubai. And he will make his way to pole position for the second time this weekend. It would be a wonderful fillet for him if he could turn this into a pole position to victory. And he's going very well indeed to make that happen. Keanu Al-Azadi making his way to the front end of the grid. Before the weekend really got underway, I was able to catch up with Keanu about his chances here on home soil. So far, a driver from the United Arab Emirates has not yet won the F4 Championship, but there's one man who has a great chance to do it in 2024. From Dubai, lives in the Palm Jumeirah, it's Keanu Al-Azadi. Keanu, here with the Yas Heat Academy, you have a really strong chance after last month when you came here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Trophy race. Just tell us how confident you are coming into this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, the speed is great, great atmosphere as well. I've been waiting all year to come back out here and challenge everybody. And I'm just really excited for it. And I know we have a great chance to win.
Now, this has been a long time coming. You've been racing here in the United Arab Emirates for a long time in the karting leagues as a bambino, as a cadet, as a junior, as a senior. To come up here and race in F4 in Yas Heat colours on Yas Marina circuit, I mean, how big a deal is this for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked really hard for it. You know, I've been watching F4 since I was in the karting grid. Came out and watched it the year before I started racing in cars. And last year I did my first championship with Yas Heat in the F4 UAE, and it went really, really well. But this year we're coming back even stronger, ready to win the championship. And of course, it's really, really lovely to be here, and I'm really happy with my position right now.
Now, professional motor racing in this country has only really been going just a little longer than you've been alive. So this is a big opportunity for a driver like yourself to kind of be a linchpin and a figurehead for the country. How do you feel about the pressure of that, and how excited are you by the prospect?
Yeah, I mean, racing at my home tracks, you know, I've been watching my dad race here as well. Being able to win a championship is not something that I was really expecting when I first came out of karting, but now I'm in a really great position, and I have a chance to make history for the UAE and can represent my country at my home championship against great teams like this.
Now, everybody in F4 obviously talks about the guys in red and white, and here in the UAE, the guys in blue and orange. It's all about Prema and Mumbai Falcons. You guys have a really good shot, though, after the pace you showed in Abu Dhabi and won the trophy race. How confident are you guys that you can take the fight to them?
It will be a good fight, but you always need to give it a little bit more push. So, of course, they are really strong. I've been working really hard over the last test days. It will not be easy for sure, and we're going to do absolutely everything we can in this next 2 months to go for the win.
But of all of the race circuits that there is a good chance for Yas Heat to do well on, obviously the home circuit here at Yas Marina, this is the big chance.
Yes, of course. And last year we only had 1 race here. This year we have 3, and I know this track really well by now. The team has found a great system, and the atmosphere is just amazing, which is something that always helps. And being able to stay at home and then drive to the circuit is always something that I really appreciate. And yeah, I'm really, really happy to be here.
So obviously there are a lot of challenges ahead. It's a very competitive field, but I guess the advantage is you know a lot of the guys that you're going to be racing against because you drove with them in karting both here and in Europe, so you can eye up the competition quite well.
Yeah, it always helps to have some background knowledge before you start. Obviously, everybody here is great. We all worked really hard to get to this point. It's not easy to outshine them, but I will do my best.
Well, we're really excited to see how you go, and I'm sure the whole country is going to be right behind you to go for the victory. So good luck.
Thank you.
Always had a really good vibe from Keanu Al-Azadi. He reminds me of a young Rubens Barrichello. I don't know what it is, but he's just got such a chirpy disposition. He's always very pleasant, always very friendly, and he's got that real beaming smile. And it's going to be really interesting to see if he can pull this off and turn it into a win. And I guarantee you that smile will not be coming off his face if he can convert this third race of the weekend into a victory. A little bit of housekeeping as always. I may have just run from the starting grid up to the commentary box, and I can neither confirm nor deny that I called up to a laughing Taylor Barnard and to Zanapol Vuvuzak, who'd giggled at me as I ran past. And I can neither confirm nor deny that I may have said, if I'm not 10 stone by the end of this championship, I'm going to sue somebody. But it's always nice to have this fabulous community spirit. Big shout out to Reza Siraruthin, the Bournemouth-based racing driver. I will finally correct myself. There he is in the background. It just goes to show, isn't it? You travel all over the world, you go to these fantastic places, and you can't even tell Bristol from Bournemouth. I do apologise, Reza, but everybody back home in Bournemouth is very keen to see how well you're going to get on, and I'm sure it's going to be a great race for you. Enzo Ye looking into position there in the Race GP car as he hopes to continue to make his way further forward. Still pushing very hard indeed to make a good inroad into this one. There is the number 15 of Nicolas Stati for the AGI Sport team that have come all the way from Ingleburn in Australia. And what an amazing debut they've had. A pole position and a third already this season, having managed to turn a reverse grid pole position for Jack Beaton into a podium. There is Yvan David. Hopefully he's going to have a much better run than he had last time. I did manage to catch up with Yvan David, and he said, well, it's a combination of me making a mistake on the start and the battery dying, so I couldn't get it restarted again. So a catalogue of errors, unfortunately, for Yvan David on the previous start. Hopefully this time, though, it's going to go much better for him. And everybody watching back home in Colombo, hopefully going to be rewarded with another fantastic situation. So there is the number 2. That is Liu Kaixun from Hong Kong. And his teammate, of course, is a very good friend of his and a former rival, Tiago Rodriguez, the young man from Macau, who, of course, is the Chinese F4 champion. And he's going to be working very hard indeed to consider how well he will go. There is Jack Beaton. He's just come off the back of a very stressful race, having to try and fend off from his rivals. He couldn't quite keep them behind in the end. He managed to come home in 3rd position, but a very tricky one. And there you go. We've got all of the cars on the grid now after that little bit of a nightmare as to whether or not we'd see Rafael Narak out on circuit at all. But he is there, so that is very good news indeed. Peter Buzanelos, the Australian driver, just getting himself ready with the AGI team. And Keanu Alazari and Freddie Slater. That is a very spicy front row of the starting grid. There is Reza as he gets himself ready. The young man from Bournemouth in number 4, high-tech. There are 4 high-tech drivers on the grid, all of them British, either by birth or license. Reza Siraruthin, Sebastian Murray, who lives here in the United Arab Emirates, Gabriel Stilp, the Gilles Villeneuve of karting. It's a shame he's not in karting anymore, but I'm sure he'll be just as spectacular in a single-seater. And Deegan Fairclough, the man who charged through to 2nd position from P6 on the grid in the previous race. So a really exciting talent is young Deegan Fairclough. He managed to get his funding into British F4 completely done through the Racing Star program in esports, and managed to get funding from Rocket to go and compete in British F4 last year. Big shout out as well to the other driver that won an accolade there, Monica Boulton Ramos, who I was actually racing against, would you believe, the other day in the world of karting at Daytona Motorsport. Yeah, I mean, I did get my keister handed to me on a number of occasions, but hey, you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you? But a big shout out to Monica Boulton Ramos, who I'm hoping is going to get her chance in an F4 car again very soon indeed. But the lights are on. When they go to green, we will start the formation lap. And then after that formation lap, the cars will form up on the grid once again. And then for 28 minutes plus the additional lap, we'll be racing for 25 more points in the championship. And it's definitely starting to get a little bit more fever pitch now. Green lights come on at the top of the gantry. And now we are ready to go racing very nearly. Just one more reconnaissance lap, one formation lap, and then we're under race trim. Keanu Alazari and Freddie Slater on the front row of the grid. Rashid Al-Daheri and Nikita Bedrin on the 2nd row. Alex Powell and Kian Nakamura-Berta on row 3. Deegan Fairclough and Jules Caranta, the Rookie Cup winner in race 2. 9th on the grid for Dion Gauda and Dorian Pin in 10th position on the grid. Then Rafael Narak and Gabriel Stilp from Matteo Quintarelli and Zach Scular. Jack Beaton and Enzo Ye, Yvan David and Alvis Rodella. Then Kamal Murad and Reza Siraruthin rounding out the top 20. Tiago Rodriguez and Peter Buzanelos, Sebastian Murray and Lucas Amalisto, Maxi Restrepo and Liu Kaixun, and then Kaidar Yanani and Nicolas Stati from Aurelia Nobels and Everett Stack. then Kari Schreiner, Fu Yuhao, and Max Popov, who had to start the race from the back of the grid for this one. So a fascinating situation so far. If you missed the first two races, we'll give you a quickest of quick updates. Kia Nakamura Berta taking the win in race 1 for Mumbai Falcons. And then in race 2, the reverse grid race, it was Nikita Bedrin that came through for the PHM Ikes racing team. Kia Nakamura Berta currently provisionally leads the championship with 29 points compared to Nikita Bedrin and Freddie Slater, who both have 27. Deegan Fairclough has 24 and is only 5 points off the lead. Keanu Al-Azari will be on 18 points coming into this race, 5th in the standings. Jack Beaton is on 15 in 6th. Then rounding out the top 10, we have Alex Powell, Matteo Quintarelli, Rashid Aldaheri and Alves Rodella. So far, 14 drivers have scored points out of the 33 that have started the season. There are a handful of drivers that are yet to score because they have yet to compete. They'll be joining the championship a little bit later on in the season, namely the likes of Yan Chu, who is set to drive for the XL Motorsport team later in the year. Enzo Deligny, who is likely to fill a vacancy at Race GP. James Agozzi, who should be hopping into the PHM Ikes racing seat. Chi Jun-Ru and Thomas Stolchamanis, both of whom are queued up to race for Prema at some point before the end of the season. In the Rookies Cup, it is Kia Nakamura Berta that leads on 25 points. Well, that is actually after race 1. Those points haven't actually been updated yet in front of me, but it's still very, very close indeed up at the sharp end of the field. But I do believe Kia Nakamura Berta actually does still lead the Rookies Championship. So we'll keep up to date on that as we go. But certainly a very exciting start. Are we going to see 3 different winners from the first 3 races of the 2024 F4 UAE Championship? The man who won both races at the Yas Marina circuit during the Formula One World Championship season finale at the end of last year for the Abu Dhabi Trophy race is now going to start on pole position for the 2nd time this weekend. He had a difficult start in race 1 yesterday. Now he's got a chance to redeem himself. It's the hottest part of the day. Just coming up to 2:45 when the sun has been beating away at its height and it's slowly starting to come down again. So this is fever pitch as far as the battles out on the circuit are concerned. So now let's see if the 3rd and final Formula 4 UAE Championship race of the weekend is going to be another classic. Race 2 was absolutely superb. Can we get another one? F4 UAE Championship race number 3 coming up. If you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Motorsport TV, you are all very welcome. Green flags fly at the back of the field, and for the 3rd and final time in the opening weekend of the F4 UAE Championship 2023, it's time to go racing at Yas Marina. And it's a great start from Keanu Al-Azari. Much better than yesterday, but Freddie Slater is going to draw level. So Slater's going to try and drag race him down to the first corner. Can Slater take the lead? Watch out for Bedrin, who's made a good start as well. Round the far side, Al-Azari's going to try and exploit the grip. Will Slater give him enough room to play with? And he's going to go wide. Al-Azari will go out wide and try and cut back in front of Freddie Slater, and he has taken the lead back for the moment. So Gianno Al-Azari out in the lead of this race in front of Slater, then Bedrin, then Rashid Aldaheri in 4th place, and there's contact further back. We've had 2 cars come together on the exit of the first corner. It's one of the PHM Ikes cars and one of the Santalox, I do believe. So there is a yellow flag already at turn 9, which is the first corner of this configuration. I couldn't quite make out which 2 cars it was. It's the 17 Santalox, so that is Maxi Restrepo, the Colombian. So Restrepo is out of the race as he runs to safety, and almost certainly we're going to have a safety car at this point. There is the safety car. Well, that's the medical car, my apologies, trying to make its way around to the back end of the field, which often happens at this stage. So now that's a front wing missing from one of the Ikes racing cars, the PHM Ikes racing car, I should say. So somebody's obviously got a little bit less weight to their car than previously. I think it might be Everett Stack, although I can't confirm that. Safety car is out on track, though. Safety car, safety car. Well, the safety car board is up, actually. Yeah, there it is, the confirmation. Safety car is now out on track. It just came a little bit late to my timing screen, but it is safety car conditions here. So Keanu Al-Azari will lead Freddie Slater, Nikita Bedrin, and Rashid Aldaheri. Well, that is going to be tense. We've got a replay of what happened, I do believe. Just going to cut back. Oh, and there it is. It's got messy. And up in the air goes one of the PHM cars. And a broken rear suspension, so that's not going anywhere anyway. So it's Restrepo, and it is Everett Stack. So Everett Stack is out, and so too is Maxi Restrepo, the Colombian. Now, I tell you who else had a ripper of a start. Deegan Fairclough shot his way through to 5th position ahead of both Powell and Nakamura Berta. So the boy wonder, Deegan Fairclough, doing yet another fantastic job off the line and making up 2 places on 2 of the favourites in this category. So the safety car has managed to pick up the field then. That's the quickest safety car of the 2024 season so far. So Svenes wants to know how old the drivers are. Well, you're not old enough to compete in F4 until the age of 15. So that is when you are allowed to go racing in F4 National Championships, and there are no international championships, of course, in F4 other than the FIA Motorsport Games, which happens biannually. And the last time it happened was last year at Paul Ricard in France, and this year, of course, it'll take place in Valencia on the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in October. And the last gold medal winner back in 2022 was a young lad called Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who cannot have enough headlines written about him. He raced here last year, of course, in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, and he became the first ever champion. And that was a year ago. So we're going to continue to talk about him, I'm sure, in the 2024 season when he begins his Formula 2 journey for Prema. And the safety car leads the field around here. So let's talk you through the running order at this point. So Chiano Al-Azari in front of Freddie Slater and Nikita Bedrin, then Rashid Al-Aheri and Deegan Fairclough, Alex Powell, Kian Nakamura Berta and Dion Gauda, then Dorian Pin and Gabriel Stilp in 10th position. Then it's Rafael Narak, who almost missed the start and manages to come through in 11th place. Then we have Matteo Quintarelli in 12th. Zach Skoular is in front of Enzo Ye, Jack Beaton, Yvan David, Alvis Rodella and Kamal Murad. Thiago Rodriguez 19th in front of Riza Severuthin, Lucas Samalisto and Liu Kaishun, Sebastian Murray and Kai Darianani, Peter Buzanelos and Nicolas Stati, Kari Schreiner, Max Popov, Gilles Caranta, Aurelia Nobels and Fu Yuhao. So Gilles Caranta's had a nightmare start and dropped right to the back of the field, unfortunately. And the incident at turn 9 on lap 1 is under investigation. There is a double wave yellow there at the moment. We're on the corkscrew section of the course, for those who are confused as to why we're not on a part of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix circuit that you recognise. But this is basically the bit that gets rid of that long flowing hairpin that Max Verstappen overtook Lewis Hamilton on. You're probably sitting there if you haven't seen the other races going, why aren't we on the Grand Prix circuit? Well, we aren't this weekend. We will be next weekend. We will use the full layout a week away. So they will continue putting on a sensational battle. Weaving from side to side, just trying to keep operating temperature in the tyres and brakes, because you've got to make sure that you have all of the sensational situation. You've got to make sure that when you go into the first couple of corners, you've got a car that will bite underneath you. Well, seeing as how we are under safety car, I know there's a couple of questions coming in from our live stream. Somebody wanted to know if I'm doing any WSK commentary this year. Sadly not. That's Ian Silvestrin's lookout. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody else at the helm of FIA karting events this year as well. I'm moving on to this sort of thing. Garlic Bread Games wants to know how I'm doing. Well, I'm a bit worn out after my run down the pit lane, but fortunately, I've got great racing in front of me. Now, car number 11 has got to give the position back to number 27. That is Chiano Al-Azari, now being ordered to give the lead of the race back to Freddie Slater. So it's been adjudged that he gained an advantage he shouldn't have gained on the outside. So he's had to move over and give the place. He has done that. So Freddie Slater now essentially leads this race. Well, that's a very frustrating command that Chiano Al-Azari's been given there, but clearly they felt that around the outside, he was not able to gain that correctly. And so, unfortunately, he has ended up having to concede the lead. So he's moved over and given that to Freddie Slater, who now leads this race. Well, another interesting battle develops under the safety car as Chiano Al-Azari is ordered to give the race lead to Freddie Slater behind him. So now it's Freddie Slater who is in the lead of this race, effectively. Chiano Al-Azari in second, Nikita Bedrin third from Rashid Al-Aheri, Deegan Fairclough, Alex Powell, Kian Nakamura Berta, Dion Gauda, Dorian Pin in 9th place, and Gabriel Stilp in 10th position. So Dorian Pin, the French driver, currently on the rookie podium. There she is in the red and white colours of the Prema team. Safety car in at the end of this lap. Here we go. So Freddie Slater's going to bunch up the pack. There is the safety car clearing off and scampering. We need to look further down the straight, really. There is Freddie Slater. Look at him bunching up this field. Freddie Slater was always really good at restarts in the world of karting, and he's got just as good at it in the world of cars. Has he already bit the bullet and gone for it? He has, you know. Halfway down the back straight, and he's caught Keanu Alazari out there. So he's conceded a car's length already. And as everybody gets up to racing speed, Freddie Slater is going to have this nailed as they come out of the final turn and over the line. It's green, 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 and Freddie Slater leads the way in race 3 of the F4 UAE Championship on the restart. And he's already trying to shake off Keanu Alazari from the toe. As long as Alazari can't draft in behind Freddie Slater, he's got a chance to lead this one going away. Third position, Nikita Bedrin, race 2 winner. Finds himself right up there in third position. Did a much better job in qualifying for race 3, I should say, than he did for race 1. So Slater is your leader. Alazari in second place. Then Bedrin, Al-Taheri, Fairclough, Powell, Nakamura Berta, and Dion Gauda from Dorian Pin. And then we have Gabriel Stilp in front of Rafael Narak and Matteo Quintarelli. They come through. Look how close the wheels get to that Armco as they skate their way through. You really are pushing the limits in these cars. All it's going to take is one little error, and you're going into that Armco. And considering that these guys are 15 years old and over. Oh, there's an overtake in the background. That's one of the high-techs moving forward. I think that's Gabriel Stilp getting the run on Dorian Pin. It is indeed. So Gabriel Stilp gets the move on Dorian Pin, as Rashid Al-Daheri is now dueling away with Deegan Fairclough. Get off! I'm in 4th position. This is my home circuit. And Rashid Al-Daheri does not want Deegan Fairclough all over the back of him like a bad habit. Kian Nakamura Berta closing up on Alex Powell, the 2 teammates. They were teammates in karting as well, don't forget, in the Prema karting squad last season, and they're still at it in the world of cars in the Mumbai Falcons colours. So down the back straight. Slater holds the advantage for the moment. Alazari's still going with him though, and he's got a little bit of slipstream off him. So that should keep Alazari in the game. And as far as one lap pace was concerned yesterday, Alazari does have what it takes, a little bit of a run wide from Fairclough in the attempt to go for Al-Daheri, and this could be enough for Alex Powell to seek his opportunity. From Miami in Florida comes Alex Powell, the nephew of the 100-meter sprinter Asafa Powell. Here comes the opportunity on the far side. Alex Powell looking for his move. He's going to go long, because that's where Fairclough's going to send him. Can he cut back for the inside? Bit of a lock-up from Nakamura Berta behind them. But Alex Powell can't quite get the switcheroo. Has to sit back and wait. And look who else is joining the battle. Dion Gauda, frustrated after not being able to complete the first lap in race 2. Now he wants a piece of the action. And the Mumbai Falcons trio, hustling Deegan Fairclough in the high-tech. Powell, Nakamura Berta, and Gauda. Under the W Hotel, out towards the tail end of the Formula 1 circuit. Always baffles me just how on the limit you are in that corner. Look how close they are. They're literally kissing the white line that is next to the wall. And look at that. Slater is not getting away from Alazari as quickly as he'd like. Alazari is keeping him honest all the way. Slater may have the fastest lap of the race, but it's only by 0.06 of a second. There's not much to choose between Slater and Alazari at all. Up the hill goes Bedrin. Al-Daheri. Now instead of dropping down the hill, they will hard on the brakes, not lock up the wheels, hopefully, and go square left. Here they go. There's the sign to tell you so. Then they drop down the hill. And it's left, right, left, and then they rejoin the back straight. Different layout, different configuration. It hasn't been used in the Abu Dhabi formulas for at least 3 years. Certainly at this level. Here comes Rashid Al-Daheri, going to try and take on Nikita Bedrin. Bedrin's going to try and defend. Al-Daheri will go round the far side. And Bedrin holds Rashid Al-Daheri at bay, but Al-Daheri's going to get a much better exit than Nikita Bedrin. And watch for Deegan Fairclough. Fairclough's got a cleaner exit than both of them. Fairclough could take them both on. Wheel to wheel, it's going to be 3 wide. Fairclough on the far side, he's going to outskate them both. Can he turn it in? Fairclough's going to get them both. Bedrin tries to defend, and Al-Daheri cuts through on the inside of both men. Brilliant from Rashid Al-Daheri. Oh, the local fans here will be on their feet. Rashid Al-Daheri from just down the road here in Abu Dhabi. 3rd position for the Emirati. Now Fairclough's going to take on Bedrin again, and this time he's got him. So Fairclough through into 4th. Bedrin is really plummeting like a stone. Here comes Powell. Now Powell is having a crack at Nikita Bedrin. Just no tyre life at all. Just doesn't have any mechanical grip. So Nikita Bedrin really struggling as Slater and Al-Azhari are getting away. And now up to third comes Rashid Al-Daheri. And up to fourth position comes Deegan Fairclough. Now Alex Powell is going to be trying to take on Nikita Bedrin. And that's the gap between Bedrin and Al-Azhari, I do believe, actually, that graphic should have read. 3 seconds is now the distance between them. It's going to be considerably more than that now that Al-Daheri's got through past Bedrin. Nikita Bedrin really struggling as Alex Powell, Kian Nakamura-Berta and Dion Gowda are lining him up. And there's Gabriel Stilp as well. I stick by my description of him, the Gilles Villeneuve of karting. There was never anybody quite so spectacular behind the wheel of a racing kart at the professional level as Gabriel Stilp. He was always electrifying to watch, and here he is in cars, and he's right up at the sharp end. So Al-Daheri holding on to third. Fairclough is definitely hungry. Up the inside comes Gabriel Stilp. Dives in. Absolutely going hungry. He has very much got the go hard or go home attitude, Gabriel Stilp. Love it. But now Doriane Pin has got a chance to go for it. Here comes Doriane Pin on the far side of Stilp. She's got a faster exit out of the turn. Should be able to run this round the far side, but how committed is Stilp going to be? Dives back in. No, you don't. I'm going to have this, says Gabriel Stilp. Meanwhile, Alex Powell is trying to take on Nikita Bedrin once more. Doriane Pin is going to try another trick to try and get past Gabriel Stilp, but she's got to be careful because here comes Rafael Narak. A lot of lockups. I think there might even have been a bit of side-by-side as Powell was trying to take on Alex Powell. Bit of a run wide further back. That's Zach Scular in the other Yazid-coloured car. As Doriane Pin is now going wheel to wheel, I do believe. No, that's on the inside of Bedrin, isn't it? So that's Powell, Nakamura-Berta and Gowda getting stuck in there with Gabriel Stilp. Oh, and they're both drifted wide as Stilp absolutely hammers the inside line and goes wheel to wheel with Dion Gowda. Doriane Pin is defending now from... Now, has that got to be... Oh, that's going to be a dive for Stilp, and there's contact between him and Dion Gowda. Somehow they both keep going. Well, Stilp was just not going to concede. And so now Dion Gowda's got to try and stay on this road, but there goes Rafael Narak going through. Oh, and there's problems. Dion Gowda's got damage. Gowda's got damage. So Gowda's going to park it. Dion Gowda, 2 races in a row now. And oh, off the road goes one of the Race GP cars. Now that looks like Enzo Ye trying to get the move on Zach Scular, but he went right off the road to do it. So I'm afraid Gabriel Stilp and Dion Gowda coming together into what is the Formula 1 Turn 1. Race GP versus Santalok. Careful under braking, boys. As Matteo Quintarelli gets a little love tap there from the 76 of Rafael Narak. That might even have been, I think it was Rafael Narak, so a bit of an issue there as they came through. But Quintarelli has managed to get through past Scular, Narak and Enzo Ye. Let's have a look at this again. Look, Stilp just decides, I'm going for it. Gowda pulls across. That really was something like Villeneuve and Arnoux, and Stilp is going to say, I got squeezed there onto the curb, I couldn't bail out. Dion Gowda's going to say, yes you could, you could have slammed on the brake pedal. So neither driver's going to see eye to eye on that one. But a bit of an interesting one as the incident is under investigation. Another incident is under investigation, the one that's just happened at the chicane. So all sorts of problems then for drivers who are now basically in hell for leather mode, because they know that there's now about 5 days until the next on-track action here at Yas Marina. So for race 3, if they weren't prepared to go for the move earlier in the weekend, they can now, because they've got a bit of time to repair. As into the pits to retire comes Dion Gowda. So he joins Maxi Restrepo and Everett Stack on the sidelines, and I'm reliably informed that Alves Rodella has also come into the pits to retire. Yeah, there he is. So Alves Rodella is joined by Dion Gowda, who's got a flat tyre there. So very unfortunate indeed for him. That's 2 races out of 3 now that Dion Gowda is out. Now here is Keanu Al-Azhari. He's been stepping up the attack on Freddie Slater the last few laps. This is a slow burn for Keanu Al-Azhari. He's not going to let Freddie Slater get away. There's been some real success stories out of the United Arab Emirates over the last few years. In F4 UAE in particular, it was 3 years ago, I think it was, 3, when Hamda Al-Kubaisi was racing on this very circuit and actually pulled 10 seconds clear, because she had to, because she had a pair of penalties that were given to her. Under investigation then between Gabriel Stilp and Dion Gowda. I'll be very interested to see who gets a penalty of the 2 of them, if either do. So this is fascinating stuff so far, and really intriguing to see. But certainly up at the front end of the field, these two are absolutely going for it. Freddie Slater trying to get away. Keanu Al-Azari not letting him. This is my playground, Freddie. How dare you invade my territory? As Keanu Al-Azari knows this place very well. He took both of the pole positions in qualifying. He's not about to let Freddie Slater get away with this. This is my playground. Shove off. Keanu Al-Azari still putting pressure on Freddie Slater. So still they go. Third position is looking like it's going to intensify as well. Rashid Al-Daheri has got Deegan Fairclough all over the back of him. And then we've got the teammates, Kia Nakamura-Berta and Alex Powell. Here they are. So Nakamura-Berta has somehow got ahead of Alex Powell. I didn't quite see where that happened, but they've swapped positions. So now Nakamura-Berta is in P5, and Alex Powell is in P6. So a decent crop of points from both drivers. Al-Daheri and Fairclough still having a good run of it. I'm so impressed with Deegan Fairclough. You've got to remember that all of these things have to be taken into context. So much has been written about the guys around him, from their karting and from their F4 exploits over the last 18 months. Deegan Fairclough has kind of crept into this battle round the back door and said, look, I'm a great racing driver too. High-Tech can give me the decent tools to get the job done, and I'm going to give this everything I've got. There is Dorian Pin. Now, she's worked her way forward up into 7th place, the Iron Dame. So excellent work for the French driver. Now in front of Nikita Bedrin. Gabriel still there in 9th place, somehow. And then Matteo Quintarelli, ahead of Zach Scular, Enzo Ye, Yavan David, the Sri Lankan, who's worked his way up to 13th. And then Rafael Narak, who has slipped to P14 in front of Kamal Murad. And then in 16th position, we have got Thiago Rodriguez, the young man from Macau. Then the Bournemouth racer, Reza Sararuthin in 17th, ahead of Lucas Amalisto, Sebastian Murray, and Kai Darianani. So still they battle away down to the braking zone for the W Hotel. Got to be very careful not to do that. Lock up the brakes, because that really does come back to bite you. That was Rafael Narak just getting a little bit too hot on the brake pedal. And you lock up in these cars, you don't have a lot of rubber to play with. Check out how close they are getting to that Armco. That's the difference between a committed racing driver and a bit of an amateur. If you're not getting close enough to the wall, then you're clearly not going fast enough. There is Kia Nakamura-Berta and Alex Powell. Two of the many drivers in this field that is trying to go as close to the limit as possible. Sterling Moss always used to talk about Juan Manuel Fangio as the kind of driver who wouldn't touch the straw bales at the side of the circuit, he would whisper them. That's how accurate his driving style was. They're just trying to match it, these young lads and lasses. You only go racing in cars at the start of your 15th year. That's 15th year of living, not 15th year of car racing. Now on the inside, late brakes from Alex Powell, trying to outfox Kia Nakamura-Berta. Small world. They used to swap race positions in the karting world. Now they're doing exactly the same thing in the car racing world. And this is the run all the way to Formula One as far as these two are concerned. Kia Nakamura-Berta, who carries both the Japanese and Slovakian flags on his halo. Half Slovak, half Japanese, but he races under a British license. He actually lives in the UK. And when you speak to him, he's got an English accent. Alex Powell, however, of course, has got a thick Miami accent. Born and raised in Florida, but he is the nephew of Asafa Powell, the very talented Olympic sprinter. Here comes Alex Powell, though. They used to call him the Jamaican sensation when he carried the Jamaican flag on his kart. Now he has the Star-Spangled Banner. The stars and stripes are resplendent on his car as he wants to put an American into Formula One alongside Logan Sargent. How close was that to the Armco? Goodness me. That was a scary heart-in-mouth moment for anybody that was watching that closely. So every driver now stretching it. 6.5 minutes to go, plus the additional lap. And Alex Powell really wants to be best of the rest. If he can't get in the top 4, then 5th position will have to do. This is always a test of character, and you're looking at two young drivers who are part of a Formula One Academy program. Kia Nakamura-Berta in front is part of the Alpine Academy, and Alex Powell is part of the Mercedes F1 Young Driver program. Kia Nakamura-Berta trying to shake off his teammate. Go away, leave me alone. Go away, leave me alone, says Kia Nakamura-Berta. Alex Powell all over the back of him like an angry wasp at a picnic. ruining things as he tries to keep focus. Dorian Pin, Nikita Bedrin, Gabriel Stilp and Matteo Quintarelli. There's absolutely no relation between the two of them, by the way, apologies. But when you've been watching motor racing as long as I have, you see the surname Quintarelli and your mind goes to one place. Sorry, Matteo. Through to the hairpin. Alex Powell, again, tries his luck on Kian Nakamura-Berta. Still working very hard indeed to try and catch him out. There's the Iron Dame, Dorian Pin in front of Bedrin, Stilp, and then Matteo Quintarelli ahead of Zach Scular and Enzo Ye. Everybody just trying to stay in this tussle at the moment. Once again, though, I have to say, it's very tame the way things have been going in F4 UAE. We had a couple of moments in race 2, didn't we, where things got a little bit hectic on the reverse grid. But in terms of the maturity and the racecraft and the skills and discipline of these drivers, one or two run wides notwithstanding, the level of ability in F4 UAE this year is absolutely extraordinary. Now, this has been quoted by a few people as saying this is, in a way, in an essence, the World Championship of F4, because you've got so many drivers and teams coming from so many different places around the world using this as a training tool. But obviously there are no World Championships in F4, there are no international competitions unless you count the F1 Academy, which is the all-female based series that this year will be running alongside Formula 1, and of course if you count the FIA Motorsport Games, which I think we all do. This year, of course, several of the drivers on this grid could be competing in that at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia. Fabulous place. But so is this place, Yas Marina. What a venue. 15 years of motor racing behind it. A little bit of a run wide from Enzo Ye. Here comes Jovan David. This is when everybody in Colombo is going to be on their feet. Can the Sri Lankan get his run here on Enzo Ye? In the slipstream, looking fast. And Jovan David is motivated. Don't forget, he was the silver medalist in the FIA Motorsport Games karting event 2 years ago at Paul Ricard. Can Jovan David get this done? Round the outside. Enzo Ye doesn't leave him a lot of room to play with. So Jovan David is going to try again. Still pushing, still motivated. His father Johan is here this weekend watching him, and so are a decent handful of his friends. He's got a good support base here at Yas Marina, has young Jovan David. Through they come, under the bridge. Jovan David is doing his best to continue on the charge after Enzo Ye for the Race GP team. Not quite able to do anything about it though. 3 minutes plus 1 lap remaining here at Yas Marina. Still great racecraft. Doesn't matter whether you're looking at the front of the field or in the midfield. These guys and girls are absolutely brilliant. Some terrific skill on display. They come through once more. Up the climb. Nailing the apex radius through the crest, then they come up. At this point, they don't drop down the hill. Square left. Bit of a lock-up there, by the look of it, from Dorian Pin, I think that was. No, it's further back, my apologies. That is actually Rafael Narak who locked up. It was Kamal Murad who was chasing. Kamal Murad, the Australian, for the BHM Ike's racing team. So still they go. Up to the braking zone. Can Jovan David find something out of the exit of this chicane that can get him back on terms with Enzo Ye once again? This is when the tyres are really starting to fall away. Down the straight once more. Jovan David's in the slipstream, but he's not quite close enough. So still they run, and still they push. Let's see if there's going to be one final trick. Yellow flag at turn 6. Now that is in the final chicane of the lap for these guys. So something's happened, and I think it's Kai Darianani. Kai Darianani seems to have disappeared. So that's very unfortunate indeed for the Pinnacle driver, who found notoriety. There he is, found notoriety on iRacing when he beat Dan Wells. No slouch himself, but I'm afraid he's beaten himself up there into the wall. So Kai Darianani having a fairly decent battle, it has to be said. Now, big question. Is that in a dangerous enough position to warrant a safety car with 1 minute and 15? Oh, now that is interesting. We got a time penalty going the way of car number 6. That is Gabriel Stilp. A time penalty for causing a collision. Well, that is interesting. That's between him and Dion Gouda, of course. So Gouda is out of the race. Jack Beaton has not come through either, I notice, actually. So Jack Beaton's had a problem somewhere. And so, well, Jack Beaton has now come through, but at the back of the field, safety car. We're going to finish under safety car. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, safety first. You've got to do it. I know you don't like it, folks, but safety car has to be called. If there's a car in a dangerous area, you've got to do it. Too many times in the world of motorsport over the years, we have said, well, let's just see what happens. And that is not an attitude that has any place in world motorsport in 2024. And as you can see there for yourself, Kai Darianani is in a dangerous position. There is no choice. You have to throw the safety car for that. It's disappointing. I'm afraid it's a bit like a fruitcake at a wedding. It's an acquired taste, but it keeps everybody healthy and happy. Well, the safety car catches Freddie Slater. And of course, technically, he has started the final. Well, no, the time has run down while he's behind the safety car, so he's got one more lap to endure. But it will be behind the safety car. I don't think they'll be able to clear Kai Darianani's car in time. So this race, I am almost prepared to confirm he's going to finish on the safety car. However, the locals are going to be delighted because there's going to be two drivers on the podium from the United Arab Emirates, one from Dubai and one from right here in Abu Dhabi, as both Kiana Al-Azari and Rashid Al-Daheri have raced valiantly here. There is confirmation of Gabriel Stilt getting a penalty, 10 seconds for causing that collision, and Kai Darianani is out of his car. So that's it. And I'm fairly sure we're not going to get a racing lap under our belts here. So there is Kai Darianani getting out of the car and hopping over the barriers. He's okay. So that is good news. Very talented young man is Kai Darianani. Dan Wells certainly thought so when he got beaten by him on iRacing. Who are you? Well, I'm Kai Darianani. You haven't heard of me yet, but you will. Dan Wells says, too right I will. I'm going to take you under my wing. I'm going to coach you. And Kai Darianani is now in the world of F4 as a result of it. Well, I think it's time to reflect then on what has been a absolutely sensational opening weekend for F4 UAE, because I think this race is going to finish under safety car. I don't really see it going any longer than this lap, because obviously they will go on to another lap. But, I mean, unless they decide that they can get the race underway in the next 20 seconds or so, it's going to be a late call if that's the case. But certainly Kai Darianani, his car in a dangerous position at the foot of it. Yeah, I think by now we would know if the lights were going to go out. They can't really call it much later than this, so I think the race is going to end under safety car. As a result of that, we're going to have 3 different race winners from the 3 races, and very deservingly so. I always prefer it when, by nature, we get 3 different race winners, because Kian Nakamura-Berta took the win in race 1 yesterday. Then race 2 this morning, the reverse grid race, was won by Nikita Bedrin. And then for race 3, it looks like it's going to be Freddie Slater all the way in front of Kiana Al-Azari and Rashid Al-Daheri. So the 2 Yazheat cars, one that is being engineered by XL Motorsport, the other is being engineered by Prema, but both under Yazheat Academy. You can essentially label this squad as the Red Bull of the United Arab Emirates. They do amazing work, the Yazheat Academy. Mainly provided with F4 karting and esports, but they're doing a lot of amazing programs. Matthew Norman looking after an amazing operation in 2024. You haven't heard the last of what they're going to be doing. They're not just taking youngsters into the world of motor racing here in the UAE either. They're also looking after a lot of youngsters in the arrive and drive rental world. If you want to go racing for the very first time and you've never done it, then you can do it with the Yazheat Academy. They're not just looking for talented youngsters to get into motorsport, they're looking for competitors of all ages, which is really going to be exciting to see how that program develops. Stay tuned for that. Freddie Slater cruised across the line, thinking the race was over. Technically, it's not. There is another lap to go. So I'm afraid he can't quite celebrate yet. And that's the thing, you can't celebrate, because even if you're behind the safety car and there's no overtaking, I've seen drivers break down behind the safety car before, so it's not over yet. Just because we can't overtake, that doesn't mean this race is over. And look, Freddie Slater is trying to hurry the safety car up. Come on, I want to get back to the pits. I want to celebrate with the family. I want to celebrate with the team. My first win in only my 3rd start in F4 UAE. Come on, I want to get this party started early. Everybody's waiting down here, waiting for the party. And there is going to be one heck of a party because there are 3 very deserving racing drivers that are going to be on this podium. They all deserve it. Rashid Al Daheri, 3rd position. Keanu Al-Azari, 2nd place. And Freddie Slater coming home for the victory. They are technically on the final lap now because they ran out of time at the beginning of the lap that they were under safety car initially. There's already handshakes going on down here in the pit lane. Don't start shaking hands yet. Tell that to people like Nigel Mansell. Tell that to people like George Russell. Don't start shaking hands on the last lap until it's done, even if you're behind the safety car. So the likes of Freddie Slater, Keanu Al-Azari, Rashid Al Daheri, Deegan Fairclough, Kian Nakamura Berta, Alex Powell. They've given us a great show. And if we had a rookie podium, we don't actually have a rookie podium as such, but if we had a rookie podium, it would be Kian Nakamura Berta, who will take the rookie class win ahead of Alex Powell and Dorian Pin. Not a bad effort, considering that she's a prototype driver. Changing to F4. There is the safety car peeling in, but obviously there is no overtaking allowed, so there will not be an overtake before the finish line. And it's going to be a fabulous podium of 3 very deserving racers. Freddie Slater, Keanu Al-Azari and Rashid Al Daheri are going to come out of the chicane for the final time. They will cross the finish line and they will wrap up race 3. Yes, we end on a safety car, but we get the right result, that is for sure, as here comes Freddie Slater. He wins race 3 of the weekend. 2nd for Keanu Al-Azari and 3rd for Rashid Al Daheri. An amazing battle. It's just a shame that it was cut short by the safety car, but you have to keep these boys and girls safe. That has to be the priority above anything else. And we've got 3 different winners from the first 3 races of the year. Kian Nakamura Berta, Nikita Bedrin, and Freddie Slater. This is going to be a sensational season, that is for sure. We're really going to have an amazing campaign in 2024. 3 races down, 12 to go, and we've already had 3 different race winners. So this is going to be a very exciting battle for the title, that's for sure. I really hope you enjoyed all of that this weekend, because it really was very good entertainment. And the good news is, you get more next week. We're just getting started as far as the F4 UAE Championship is concerned. We've got another race weekend here at the Marina circuit a week from now. 3 more races, then they'll take a week off. Most of them will either go home or they'll stick around in the UAE, probably to go and watch the Dubai 24 Hours or something. Then they'll go to the Dubai Autodrome a week later for round 3 of the championship. Then they'll come back here to Marina for the 4th round, where I think we are going to have a night race from what I was told. And then a week after that, on the 17th and 18th of February, the season will conclude at the Dubai Autodrome, the party city. A fabulous season incoming here for the F4 UAE Championship. Kian Nakamura Berta, Nikita Bedrin and Freddie Slater picking up the victories. In this particular race, though, it's going to be 2 young men from the United Arab Emirates on the podium. I don't want to confirm it, but I think that's the first time that 2 drivers from the United Arab Emirates have been on the podium at the same time in the F4 UAE Championship. I'm not entirely confirming that, but I think it might be the first time that we've had 2 United Arab Emirates drivers. Now, that is interesting. Car number 27, that's Freddie Slater. It is told on my timing screen, he must report to the stewards for a repeated abuse of track limits, according to my timing screen. So this might not be over yet. This might not be over. Well, the plot just keeps on thickening. Yes, look, on my timing screen it says, car 27, report to the stewards for abusing track limits. There is a 10-second penalty going out to the 83 for causing an incident, I think. And that is going to be Jules Caranta. That's very unfortunate. But number 27 apparently needs to report to the stewards for abuse of track limits. So this might not be over yet. Well, that's just popped up on my timing screen. So even though we finished, and those are the provisional race results, they may not be the final race results, that's for sure. Wow, the drama just does not stop in F4 UAE. And if he loses this win, it's going to be a UAE 1-2. That is astonishing. So for the moment, it's Rashid Al-Daheri in third, Keanu Al-Azari in second, and Freddie Slater in first. And that's how they're going to go onto the podium. But it might not finish that way. There is Keanu Al-Azari chatting to his father Kareem, himself a very talented sports car racer. And there is Freddie Slater, race winner. And they're celebrating as if they've won, but it looks like the celebrations are a little subdued. There's some concern now. The timing screen has told us that they're going to be reporting to the stewards after the race. So for the moment, they'll go to the podium. But this might not be over yet. What a way to start the season. All sorts of action, overtaking, battles, drama, sensational racing. It's all happening here in Yas Marina. A week from now, they'll do it again for 3 more races, don't forget. But for now, we're going to go to the podium very shortly. Let's look back over the highlights, and then when we come back, we will have the podium for the 3rd race of F4 UAE 2023. It's all provisional for the moment. What an opening weekend it has been here at Yas Marina. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now having the podium ceremony for the 2024 F4 United Arab Emirates Championship, certified by FIA. Round 1 here at Yas Marina Circuit, and it's race 3. Congratulations to the top 3 drivers. We'll welcome them out now one by one. In 3rd position for the United Arab Emirates, Rashid Al-Daheri. An excellent run from Rashid on home soil. He lives just a few miles away from the circuit. This is a great result for him in the first weekend of the year. In second position, also for the United Arab Emirates, Keanu Al-Azhari. Great to see him back on the podium once again after an epic run to P2. But your race winner, the third different one this weekend for the United Kingdom, Freddie Slater! A terrific run from the British boy wonder. And there's another British boy wonder to come to the podium. Our rookie winner, also from the United Kingdom, Kian Nakamura-Berta! A very busy weekend at the office for our F4 UAE drivers. They've given us plenty of entertainment. It's my honour to invite Mr. Davide Gobi, the General Manager of Top Speed, who will present the trophies to our competitors on the rostrum in fantastic fashion. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. In third position for the United Arab Emirates and Prema Racing, Rashid Al-Daheri. And in second position for the United Arab Emirates and the Yazid Academy, Keanu Al-Azhari. And to your race winner for the United Kingdom and Mumbai Falcons, Freddie Slater. And finally to our Rookie Cup winner for the United Kingdom and also for Mumbai Falcons, Kian Nakamura-Berta. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, a very busy race for our competitors. 2 in Yazid colours, 2 in Mumbai Falcons colours, 3 different winners from the first 3 races. F4 UAE 2024 is alive and kicking. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Kian Nakamura-Berta, Rashid Al-Daheri, Keanu Al-Azhari and Freddie Slater. It's time to get busy with the fizzy. It's champagne time! A wonderful start to the season in F4 UAE. It's only going to get more exciting and more interesting from here. Ladies and gentlemen, your race 3 podium. Formula Regional Middle East is on the way. The third and final race of the weekend is coming up. But for F4 UAE fans, you've got another week to wait till we return to Yas Marina a week from now for round 2 of the 2024 season. From Jake Sanson, it's bye for now. Join us with the Formula